Once you start posting online, you will become a different person. Everything we've been talking about so far on Posted Anyway have been things that are stopping you from posting. But on this episode, we're going to be talking about the things that happen after you start posting. We're going to get into what's waiting for you on the other side. And honestly, guys, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. I'll tell you that right now for free, but it's a million times better than where you are right now, stuck living with the fear of judgment and not posting. Hello. I'm Jessica, and I'm here to help you overcome the fear of judgment so that you can finally start posting content online. On this side of the internet, yes, we may not be 100% ready, but we're going to get that content posted anyway. Guys, I have not seen you for a while. I know you saw me last week, but I have not seen you for a while. Anyways, glad to be back. I look a little bit different. Well, not really. Like my face looks the same, I think. But I changed my hair. Well, I just have my natural hair out. And then I have these blue light blocking glasses that I pretend are prescription, but they're not. That's a secret between us. And now the whole world knows. Anyways, let's continue. I'm so excited for today's episode. We're going to get into, as I said in the intro, things that are happening after you actually start posting. Of course, I love helping you guys overcome the fear of judgment and even like preparing you guys to start posting, right? But sometimes we just have to talk about the truth. Like what is actually waiting for you on the other side of posting content. Let's just jump right into it because I'm excited and I'm ready and I know you're ready too. So let's go. Okay, so what does the other side even look like? I'm going to keep saying the other side of the fear of judgment, the other side of posting. What do I even mean when I say that? Okay, so let's just get this out of the way. The other side is not this big moment where all of a sudden you have all this confidence, all of a sudden your content is popping off, all of a sudden you're going viral. What I mean when I say the other side is honestly more of a lower scale and it's more grounded. So what that means is that you actually stop letting the fear of judgment dictate your life, number one, and you also have more trust in yourself. The other side of the fear of judgment looks like you separating your self-worth from your numbers. We've definitely talked about this before in the past, and I know in the beginning it's difficult, to separate that, especially when you have an account, it's a new account, 0 followers, 0 posts, it's a blank account, right? And you're putting all this time, this energy, maybe even resources. If you're in the beginning, don't put too much resources into your content, by the way, just use what you have. I've always preached that on here. Number one resource will always be time because it's something you're not going to get back, right? So let's just focus on that. You're putting all this time into your content and the follower count is growing slowly, may not be growing at all. You're not seeing an ROI, return on investment, on what you're putting into your content. And it's very difficult in the beginning because you can have all these questions like, why isn't my content working? Why aren't people liking, commenting, sharing, all these things, right? But you have to have that self-trust, and that comes on the other side. It's difficult in the beginning or pre-posting to have this self-trust, but on the other side, that self-trust that comes with, I know that this is the content that I want to post. I'm finally overcoming the fear of judgment. I'm actually posting because let me tell you guys, the people who are posting, it's crazy because it's millions of people, right? But it's a small percentage of people who actually want to post, if that makes sense. Not actually, but in general, there are a lot more people who would like to post that you aren't seeing online or that they're hiding behind an account or whatever it is. Once you start posting, you actually change your relationship with the fear of judgment. So let me just say this, okay? Once you overcome the fear of judgment, it doesn't mean that it never pops up in your life again. That is just not true. We're human beings. We experience things, we go through things. But the most important thing is that the fear of judgment doesn't have authority over you. It doesn't have power over you. And now that you've overcome it, you have all these tools and strategies and ways to, let's just say, bypass it quickly when it does come up. Notice how I said when it comes up again, not if, because it will come up again, but you're just going to be able to go through it very quickly. You guys see me here on the mic talking, posting, literally every day, not every day on this account, but I have my other accounts I'm posting every day. And honestly, I can't sit here and lie to you guys and be like, the fear of judgment never comes up for me again. I don't deal with it. Not true. Yes, I can sit here and say that the fear of judgment doesn't come up for me so much on this channel per se, but on my personal account, like where I'm vlogging and, showing my life and talking about different things. When I try something new, okay, let me give you a real life example. I do vlogs, whatever. So when I try something new, when I started doing a little bit of beauty content, beauty things, I started getting a little bit of fear of judgment. I was like, who am I to do these things? Like, Me, I'm not like a beauty guru, that's for sure, but I do like makeup. So that's not something that I'm just going to shy away from and not share different things, right? So yeah, in the beginning when I was sharing beauty things, I was like, not panicking, but I was like, it just felt so weird. It felt so awkward. I almost didn't feel like how I did in the beginning of living with the fear of judgment, but 1% of that came up. And what's so beautiful about the growth that I've seen in my life is that the old me definitely would have kept that idea in my head of like doing, let's say, beauty content. I would have never even filmed it. Never even, I wouldn't even get to the editing part because I wouldn't even film it, right? It would be something that would be in my head and I would be thinking about, oh, I want to post this content and never do it because I just, the fear of judgment, as I said, paralyzed me, took over me. There was no way I was ever going to post something that was even a little bit out of my realm, right? And now, okay, I have the idea. I'm gonna, if I have to plan certain things, whatever, plan it, okay? I'm gonna film it, I'm gonna edit it. And for me, when this fear judgment does pop up, it's always right before posting. And it's funny because I don't think about anybody's opinion when I'm, in the process of like doing everything. It's always literally when I'm writing the caption and doing hashtags for it. And then the fear judgment pops up a little bit. I'm like, oh no, obviously no, right? I'm also at a point too where if I'm filming something and editing it, best believe I'm posting it. It's I've lost my words literally because I'm just not holding content back anymore. I had an idea. There's a reason why I filmed it. I enjoyed filming it. Like this video right here. There's a reason why I edited it. And obviously I'm posting it. If there's a hesitation from when you do all these things to the last moment when you want to actually post it, we need to check in, okay? We need to see what is going on there. So back to what I was saying, when this comes up for me, it takes 5 seconds, maybe 10 if the content is really out there, but it takes 5 to 10 seconds. I'm like, oh no, like I'm not going through this again. And it's so fast too. Cause it's like I think about the past 6 years in 5 seconds. And I'm like, oh yeah, obviously no, right? Cause and then I press post, move on with my day. It's fine. It's funny that I use posting beauty content as my personal example because literally now in my personal bio, like on, I think, Instagram and TikTok, I literally added a little beauty, like to all the things that I do, right? Because yeah, I do post a little bit of beauty in there and it is what it is. That solidifies things so much. So now when I don't even think about it when I'm posting beauty content, what people will say, how they will perceive it. It's just like the self-trust is there. And this is like one of the biggest things that's on the other side of posting. That self-trust, when you are confident in yourself and what you are posting, it's like the fear of judgment literally vanishes. It dissipates because it's like it's not important anymore. You're so confident and solid in yourself. Okay, it is time for the mini science corner. If you're new here, I just started doing this on the last episode where I have a little science corner in every episode just because I love obviously talking about the fear of judgment, but I want you guys to understand the science behind it and why certain things are happening. So in today's science corner, we're going to be talking a little bit about fear and posting and how they connect and what is happening behind the scenes and literally in your brain. Every time you do something that triggers fear and you either overcome it or you survive it, it is like your brain updates, okay? Like a system update. Oh, new iOS update. That is almost like what is happening. So your amygdala, that part in your brain that is connected with fear and your fear response, it gets less activated over time because now your brain has proof, right? Proof that you survived. Proof that whatever your brain thought was a threat isn't a threat. You honestly kind of have to think of it as exposure therapy, right? You have to get used to pressing post. You have to get used to being seen online. You have to get used to putting yourself out there, to getting out of your comfort zone. I know there's a lot of layers to it. That's why the fear of judgment is one of these fears that people can live with forever. There are a lot of layers. I understand it. But you expose yourself to these things slowly, consistently over time. And then that part in your brain, the amygdala, that was once so scared, that thought posting was a threat, that literally treated it as, almost like life or death, really. Obviously, we know it's not, but your brain can't tell the difference. Our goal here is to continuously expose ourselves to posting and being online so much that it becomes second nature, so much that, when the fear pops up, you're just like, oh no, I am a content creator. Like, this is what I do. And you just, keep going. What you're doing every time you're posting is that you're literally creating a neural pathway in your mind that says, you know what? I posted, I survived, I didn't die, and I can do it again. And you do it again and again and again. And what this is literally called neuroplasticity. The more that you post, the stronger that pathway gets. And that is literally what we want. That is our goal. Let's continue with how posting will actually change your relationship with the fear judgment. So you will stop asking, what will people think about me, right? And you're going to start saying, you know, what do I want to post? What do I want to say? What do I want to do? Because in the beginning, all these thoughts that you have that are connected to the fear judgment, they are very, very audience based. Okay. So what will they say? What will they think? How will they perceive me? How will they judge me? You have all these questions, but you're essentially creating content, one, from a place of fear, and two, for imaginary people who you believe will be critiquing you in the future, but you haven't posted anything yet. Do you see where that disconnect is? And I was in that loop, in that circle, in that cycle for years, okay? For years, I would be questioning what people would think, say, feel about my content before I even knew what I wanted to post, just from the beginning. And it's like, what are you doing? You're literally just setting yourself up for anxiety, pressure, just like things that you shouldn't have to worry about in the beginning, because you know what? You are creating an imaginary world that does not even exist, that does not even happen. This is what you think people might say. This is what you think people might, how people may perceive you, but it's not true. Of course, the audience and who you're talking to on the other side of the screen is important, right? I cannot deny that. You, the person who's watching this video right now, you are very important to me. But there's also a difference, right? Creating content from a place of fear and from a place of intention. I intentionally want to create this, I was going to say conversation. It is a conversation, but this content, right? I intentionally want to talk about these subjects, about the fear judgment and posting online, aspiring content creators, all these things. This is what I truly, truly want to do. I wish you guys could be a fly on the wall when I'm like planning these things. There is zero part of me that's like, what will they think? Oh my gosh, will my content be perceived in the right way? Not on this channel, as I said, you know, in the beginning, because I just know it's so funny. Well, it's not funny, haha, but funny, hee hee. I haven't really made that much jokes. This is so serious. Let's relax a bit, okay? I literally know that this is life-changing information because I've seen it change my life. I've seen it change so many other people's life who finally get over the fear judgment, start creating content, their life changes. And it doesn't have to be, you know, as I said, I keep like referring back, and this is refer, ping pong episode. As I said, it's not a big moment where you're just like, oh, my life has changed. It could be in the self-trust that you have in yourself. It could be the fear judgment that you had to yourself, because a lot of the times the way we are judging ourselves is the same way we believe other people will be judging us. That's a whole nother episode in itself. All these barriers, even you being in your comfort zone, all these things that happen in your life that you experience, that you go through. I know that the information that I say in any short that I post on this channel, any podcast episode that I post, I know that this is all true information. This is all life-changing information. So for me, it's just more excitement. I'm more excited than even guessing or trying to, you know, think about what people are going to say on the other side. It's like, sorry, this is life-changing information. I don't want to do what I did last episode where I went on many tangents. I got a little bit too loose there when I was like, oh, we need to relax. Okay, let me just end that thing off with, once you know your purpose, you really have tunnel vision. And we'll leave it at that. We talked about posting from a place of fear. So now when you're posting from a place of intention, it's more of, what do I want to say? Okay. What do I want to post online? How do I want to show myself to the world in a way, honestly? And this feels so much better. 1 million trillion zillion times better than posting from a heavy place, posting from a place that is like constantly full of dread. That is not what we want at all. It is so crucial that you understand that point, because at the end of the day, yes, I'm doing this, you know, for you, because I really want you to start posting content. But overall, the overarching facts is that I want you to enjoy posting content. I want you to enjoy being a content creator. I want you to enjoy this journey, because what's the point if you don't, right? What's the point if, like, You're posting content for, well, let's say weeks, months, years, whatever, and you're not enjoying it. Like that's literally no fun. Like why even do it, right? I want you to enjoy this process and this journey. And now let's get into the final way that posting will change your relationship with the fear judgment. Probably my favorite way is that you become someone who posts. That identity shift in itself is so important, okay? You become someone that posts. That's honestly why we're here. That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. That's why Posted Anyway exists in the first place. I want you to get to the place of somebody who posts, of being a content creator. And the moment you start posting consistently, let's also be clear on what, that word consistent is, because you hear different things. Post once a week to 5 times a day to, I swear, Gary Vee now is posting like 600 times a day. My brain obviously couldn't fathom it. That's why I was tripping over my words. Like, obviously we hear so many things, but for the people who I'm talking to on this channel, okay, you know who you are. When I say consistent, I just mean consistent is something that you can actually stick with. Don't get super crazy in the beginning and post 5 days a week, okay, Monday through Friday every day, then the next day you're only posting one time on Wednesday. That's not consistent. If you want to, break it up, okay, post 2 times a week. Once you can start being consistent with that, the next week, post 3 times, okay? Being consistent just means like, doing it at the same pace all the time. Consistency. So yes, the moment you start posting consistently, your identity changes, okay? You become a content creator. That's just a fact of a fact, okay? Once you start posting content consistently, you are a content creator. Let's be real about that. Identity is so powerful because it literally is the foundation of who you are, right? And it will dictate your behaviors. So what is the behavior of a content creator? How does a content creator behave? They plan their content, you don't have to, well, everyone's different, okay? Some people obviously outsource editing and stuff, but you actually look forward to, posting your content, to growing your community, to helping your community, all these things. These are behaviors of what a content creator does. It's your identity, right? I identify as a content creator. That is who I am. The behaviors I do in life, literally every day, dictate that. Now let's get into the action step for this week. Okay, it is going to be kind of simple. I would consider it to be simple, but I want you to finish the sentence, okay? I want to start posting because blank. You can put this in your notes app if you want. I would prefer you to journal it out. I love journaling, but I know that not everybody does that. And I have to meet you where you are. I really do. I get it. Okay. So if you never journaled a day in your life, I think this would be a great day to start. But if not, at least put it in your notes app. I want to start posting because blank. This is going to be your why. It's nothing you have to overthink about. I believe that you know what it is. You don't have to overthink it. Write it down and keep that to the side. Okay, guys, that was today's episode. It's so strange because I don't have too many notes, which kind of reflects on why I feel this episode is a little bit shorter. But sometimes I'll have less notes and I guess I just expand upon them more. I guess I just have more to say. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Anyways, that was a lot of rambling. Now, something, okay, guys, that I've been teasing, that I've been working on. I talked about definitely in the past few episodes that I feel like I am literally dangling a carrot in front of a rabbit. Okay, I'm holding the carrot. You guys are the rabbits. I need to stop doing that. I'm ready to talk about it. Okay, so the thing that I've been teasing, that I've been holding back from you guys, that I'm finally ready to share is that I've created a 30-day guided workbook. Let me start off by saying who it's actually for. Okay, it is for the aspiring content creator who is ready to overcome the fear of judgment and finally start posting online. You know if this is you. Okay. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, are you an aspiring content creator? Are you living with the fear of judgment? Are you ready to overcome the fear of judgment? Because guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're living with the fear of judgment and you're not ready to overcome it, this is not for you. In this workbook, you are meant to go throughout it in 30 days. I don't want you to rush through it. There's no point in you rushing through it, honestly. You just don't do that. Don't do that. There are 3 phases, 10 days per phase. Awareness, shifting, action. I'm telling you right now, you're going to have to face yourself and your fears in this workbook. No fluff, okay? It's just not the place for it. You see that deep breath I took? I'm like, it's just not the place for it. We're at the point now where social media and content creation is at the peak right now, okay? It's only getting bigger. That's basically what I'm trying to say. It's only getting bigger. So if you're ready to actually jump into the social media world, into content creation, and you want to overcome the fear of judgment, this is for you. Next week is when the workbook will actually be live. Next week is when you can actually get it, okay? There will be a link in the description and everything. I'll talk about that a little bit more next week. But now that you know what it is, I'm just ready for you guys who are really ready to, take the next step. And instead of talking about overcoming the fear of judgment, talking about posting, you literally do it. My goal for you, as I've said, I say this all the time, my goal for you is to literally become a content creator, overcome the fear of judgment, start posting, be a content creator. That is what I want this for you just as much as you want it for yourself, but I can't want it more than you. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I appreciate each and every single one of you. I will see you next week when the workbook will be live. We'll talk more about the fear of judgment, more about overcoming the fear of judgment, getting you to post, and yeah, see you in next week's episode. Goodbye.